Wow, way better role. Way better.
Like, love it. I'm like, ready?
Okay. This is Haley. And this is Bailey. And you're listening to Text Me When You Land. Wow, we're back. It's been way too long, and this always happens when we come back from I feel like we just stare at each other for the first few seconds.
Oh. I didn't know if you were like getting situated or if you. No. I didn't realize you were staring at me.
Just staring at you.
I feel like it's been 2 weeks. I love how that's a long time.
I know, but like
that is for us though.
Yeah, we talk all the time. We haven't talked as much. So I feel like that throws it off.
All right, so what's new with you, Bailey?
I was just in Nashville. You were in Colorado. I feel like anytime we think we're slowing down, we're not slowing down because that's just our lifestyle.
What is
we
that
love
life
to be
all
busy.
about anyway?
I know. I just said, oh, we have a whole week. We're home. I'm so excited to have a routine for a whole week. Like,
it's cozy.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
What's been up with you?
Not much. Bryce bought a new truck, so that was pretty unexpected.
Oh yeah, that's so exciting.
Yeah, it was really cool. We're having it shipped from Colorado, and Bryce is having problems with the ship company picking it up because it's a weird route. And so he's like, am I gonna have to fly back to go get it now and drive it back? I was like, that would suck. But I think it's gonna be okay. I don't know, but I am not doing that drive. That's a long drive, and I'm not doing that.
Yeah, that is a long drive. I feel like I'm trying to think. I feel like we drove so far this last year. I'm like,
I know compared to you guys, you're like, that's a cakewalk. We did Florida to California in like a day.
But it's also different in a car. Like we were in the RV, which I feel like is you can just stop and it's really not that big a deal. Where I feel like in the car, it's
I know, right?
A lot
I told Bryce, I'm like, if we can make little stops along the way, we can do it. And he's like, well, where'd you want to stop? I'm like, we go to Vegas and like stay at the Cosmo and like stuff like that. And he's like, yeah. And I was like, we added it up. He's like, it'd be cheaper to ship it. I'm like, dang it, yeah, it would.
Yeah, I feel like it does add up so quick, especially if you're doing stops.
Yeah, for sure.
We both finished The Bachelor. We're a little behind sitting down to talk about it, but I feel like we both have had so many thoughts. And I feel like I really thought Daisy was it. I thought she was until the last episode. The last episode, it was very obvious.
On purpose. Yeah, they do that on purpose. They make you fall in love with Daisy. Like even in one of the takes from one of the rose ceremonies, they made it look like Joey gave Daisy the first rose, but it was actually Kelsey. And the way they made it, like arranged it in production, they made it look like it was Daisy, but Kelsey had her rose in her hand when Daisy went up.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, see, they mess with you. And I feel like, yeah, I really, early on, I did not think Kelsey, they did not put a big highlight, I feel like, on her for a little bit. Like they were not focusing on her. And then all of a sudden, she started to make more of an appearance. And we kind of, I remember talking about it being like, you think she's going to make it? And we weren't, like, we were so not, she was not one of our runner-ups for a while. It's funny because my mom, the second she started watching, was like, that's the one. I was like, no, she's not. She's not even in the picture.
Like, she's like really like a silent participant, I should say. Well, what's funny, I've heard rumors that they think her dad is going to be the next Golden Bachelor.
Everybody, I remember when they first did like hometowns and then TikTok and Instagram, like the dad was probably everywhere and they were saying that.
That's a fun idea.
That would be so fun. I feel like,
I mean, I didn't watch it because it was really depressing, but I think it's a fun idea for those who do want to watch it.
Yeah. No, I mean, I didn't watch it either because you also told me that. And I was like, okay, that sounds sad.
It's so sad. Like, everyone's like, my husband died. My husband died. I'm divorced and my husband died. And I'm like, oh my word. Like, this is my worst nightmare.
Yeah, that sounds so sad.
Yeah, it's super sad. But I think it's interesting to see how a lot of people thought the same thing about her dad, too.
Yeah, I know. That was interesting. People were so quick to be, I mean, it was literally, I think, that night. We were watching it and things were already coming up because we were watching Hometowns in Mammoth, I think?
Yes.
Yeah, and it was already coming up that night.
Yeah, that's crazy. I think that with Hometowns, you really saw the relationships shift with what's her name? The other girl. Is her name Rachel? Yeah, you saw like you could tell she was definitely not gonna There was not a vibe connection. But it's funny because it looked like he was way more into Daisy at that in the hometowns than he was Kelsey. And again, that's all
I
production.
agree. I agree. I thought the same thing. We were so confident. We were like, it's Daisy. And then the second the final episode started, we were like, oh, nope. No, it was so like extreme one way to another. It was crazy. I
Totally.
mean, I know they edit it that way, but still.
Can we talk about Daisy's outfits though for a sec? She's so freaking cute and stylish. I'm like,
Oh, I
girl, like on the
know.
the night of the final rose, they're both their dresses. I was like, wow,
I
your revenge
loved
body is spicy. It
do you think
looks
she picked the
good.
red dress because she knew she wasn't? Do you think she had a white dress packed? I was so curious about this because I
I
was like,
think
would
they
you
get to pick them out actually.
that night, that day?
Yeah, I feel like that week they like bring someone in and they get to like pick a dress.
Oh, interesting. You think she picked red because she knew she wasn't getting proposed to? Or you think she just would want to get proposed to in red? I was just curious because I feel like
I don't
Kelsey
know. I
picked
feel like
white,
I've
which I
seen
thought
all
was
sorts of
interesting.
girls pick different colors.
Yeah.
Are have they been white? I don't
I
know.
don't know. I haven't watched enough to know if that's
I think
like
they've been a variety of colors. I remember seeing a video compilation of all the women and like their dresses have been a variety of colors.
interesting. I was just curious because Kelsey picked white and I was like, does she know? Like,
Did you
why she
hear
picked
about
white?
her like okay, when she was walking to Joey, I was like, "Why are you walking so slow?" Like it was so
Slow mo, like
dramatic,
going back.
and yes, and she looked like she couldn't find him or see him, and then apparently in an interview, she was saying she's like, "I couldn't see him, and I was in the 5-inch, like, stilettos in the sand, and so they just the producer said, keep walking, keep going," and she couldn't see him, and so she's just, like, kind of, like, wandering in it, and I'm like, "That explains why you're walking so slow," because at the part where she, like, gets from the sidewalk to the sand, Joey is not allowed to go up and help her walk. He has to wait for her to come to him. And so
Why
he's
is
like, "Yeah,
that?
I think it's just part of the suspense and the buildup of the emotion." And I'm
Oh,
like, so even if she face plants, he's not she's you have to stay. Like that would be
that's so
wild.
interesting.
I know.
Do
I
you
want to know all these
think
behind the scenes stuff of like
I know, I love
who's
that stuff. Do you think that them going, which we'll dive into that, like them going together to the rose ceremony, do you think that took away from I saw this question, I don't remember who they asked, from Kelsey's moment because they went together, or do you think it made her more excited? I can't remember. I think it was actually an interview somebody asked her that question. I can't remember though.
I think it made her I don't think it made her more excited. I think it just made it more real
That it
because
was
I mean, they still did technically, they didn't I mean, for me, she still doesn't know if it was fully her. Like, what
yeah,
if
she does
Joey
until
decide
he gets down on the knee.
Yeah, and so I maybe he said no to both, like, that would be wild. But
Oh yeah.
I feel like Daisy admitting I don't like saying admitting defeat, but, like, acknowledging that there there was more of a connection with Kelsey, I think was only enhancing Kelsey's feelings more for him, but I think the mysteriousness of not knowing how he feels or if that's equally reciprocated would remain that suspense. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Did you see that I was thinking about that, and did you see that when Daisy went to Kelsey's room, there was, like, a note on the table, and it was, like, from Joey to Kelsey, pretty much like something he had written at some point during the show, and it was pretty much, like, telling her in a way, like, very much reconfirming, like, it's her, and as Daisy walked in, you can find it pretty easy, she picks it up really quick and, like, folds it up and sits down, and I did catch it when I was watching, I was like, "I wonder what that was," but I thought it was her journal. But I guess it was his note to her.
What? We
Yeah,
need to find out this note.
I know. It said I could probably find it really quick. Just
Did it
I
say did they reveal what it said? Say what?
yeah. I saw that and I was like,
Sketch.
I noticed when Daisy walked in that Kelsey picked something up really quickly, but I just thought it was her journal. So I was shocked when I saw that and I listened to that and I was like, wait, so he told her? You think I'm so curious, like, did he tell her or did he just like vaguely put it? Because I guess he said after their Malta date, like Malta, right? That's how you say it?
Malta
After their
date.
Malta
Oh,
date?
Malta.
Malta. What do you
You were
think
trying to
I
say
said?
multi date.
No. Malta
They're
date.
multi date.
My little
What
accent.
is that? Malta date. Got it.
Malta date. After that date, I guess this is what I saw in like some interview was they like really connected. He wrote this letter about her, and pretty much I think from what I picked up is like he kind of knew after that date, and we were talking about this right before we got on, that the producers had to tell him to tone it back because he was being so obvious that it was Kelsey early on. I mean, that was pretty early on. I mean, not like, but it was like midway through,
Interesting.
right? I'm like,
Wow.
did she know? But like, how do you know and not say anything? I guess you would just have to.
That's my question. Well, apparently Joey and Kelsey are the ones that spoiled it for everyone that leaked the spoiler about them
Wait,
being
what?
together. Yeah, so that's how the people found out because initially, so I researched this.
This is fun
Um,
because we have different things and like
yeah,
people like
totally.
like
Um,
we've watched different things.
so when I found out the spoiler at on the episode of the Night of the Women's Tell All, I was like, well, this sucks. Then I researched it and I was like, okay, well, how did this happen? Because initially, so there's a man named Reality Steve where he has a bunch of inside people and detective people who like will come to him with information and like actual evidence of the who wins the final rose. And at first he said Daisy apparently. And so everyone was like guessing Daisy, it's going to be Daisy, but then Joey and Kelsey were both on Instagram and they were at this like secret resort like with just them and they both posted at the same time the same backgrounds, like a photo in front of them and at the same time and people saw it and they were like they're together. So obviously. And so that's when it all changed to Kelsey being the winner. And I'm like
Whoa, when was that?
I
How early on
I
in the season did they figure this out?
I
Like,
have no idea. Actually, I mean, it had to have been probably in the probably in the middle, I would say, because Reality Steve apparently changed his thing fairly soon after the season started.
is he usually right or is it usually hit or
Hmm.
miss?
Yeah, that's why anything Reality Steve I see on Instagram or anything like that when the air shows are airing that I don't want to spoil, you have to go fast because it'll be like it will blow it for
What?
you for
My
everything.
question is, what's the point of that? Like, I'm just
'Cause
curious.
some people don't like to wait to find out, like, my sister is one of those people who like to find out the winner, before they announce it because she likes to see the relationships develop as
I
it
feel like I just wouldn't
goes
watch.
rather
I
than
feel
being,
like,
like, spun. I know,
and
I see it from both perspectives, but I
yeah,
definitely like, the suspense and the buildup and, like, the
yeah.
guessing. I think it's fun.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I get that. I just feel like I wouldn't be as invested in the show, and I probably wouldn't because like we were all like, it's Daisy, and I think that what started until I feel like you found out like right before, but before that we were like, what if it's not her? What if this? Like we were just so into it and trying to figure it out, and
I know,
also
right?
she was
And
gonna
I
be
wanted to talk
Bachelorette.
to you guys about it, but I didn't wanna, like, give away anything, so when I found out it was Kelsey, I was like, "How? Like, how is that?" Because everything up to that point had led to Daisy, and so I was like, "Wait, what?" And so when I watched the last episode, I was like, "They totally had us by our tail feathers, just dragging us along, thinking it was Daisy." And here's the thing too, I think that part of the reason the season was such a big deal wasn't just because of the total 180 of Kelsey to Daisy, but I think it was because of how they were together in the car at the end, and they did talk, and that was the first time they ever let the women see each other. But I was, like, really surprised and taken back how people were so surprised by the, like, bond of them.
I
I'm
mean, you
like
are together like so much this whole trip. I'm surprised if you didn't become close. I think it would be
yeah,
so
exactly.
hard. I think you have to be a really big person. And I think Daisy proved that time and time again. I mean, I think Kelsey did too, but Daisy handled herself so well. Like she is so well spoken. I was like, in every situation, I was like, how did you say that so well? Like it's so impressive. I always thought that. And I think that had a big, I mean, even her going to the room being like, hey, I'm nervous. I don't think it's me. Like, can we just talk? Like, we're friends was big because I think a lot of times in those situations, you would react not as well, maybe. And I think that's
Yeah.
where I think people are
Like,
like, how
imagine
would you
if it
do
was,
that?
like, Maria and that girl that went on a two-on-one.
Oh, yeah. Literally, no way.
That
They
w
would, yeah. That would
they'd be
be
like,
awful.
"Ee." Well, I think we're gonna see Maria and that other girl, I can't remember her name, who was on the
On
two-on-one.
Paradise?
Paradise? Yeah, I think that is
Oh,
going to
geez.
be wild.
You know what I thought was interesting is kind of thinking about them and Maria was how many followers Daisy and Maria got. I mean, from pretty early on was
Daisy has more
wild.
followers apparently than Joey.
Yeah, she does?
I mean, I don't blame him. I would much rather follow
As
Daisy than Joey. Be
Yeah,
like,
for sure. As the finale was going on, I was refreshing because I was so curious because she was handling and like saying everything so well, and she was growing so much, even just like finale, like when
let's see, I follow Daisy on Instas.
and
She has
Jen
800
did
and
not.
what?
Jen did not get like I mean she grew a little after, but not a lot after she got announced.
I
Um
am not
Wait, how many
excited
does
about her being
no,
the Bachelorette.
me
I'm
neither.
sorry. I'll say it. She's just like she was not the first or the second choice, and
Mm-mm.
I don't think she was that exciting during the show with Joey. Like,
I feel like she was better during the show than she was during her interviews. Her interviews for The Bachelorette did you see her interview on Good Morning America? Good Morning America, where she was like, it's gonna be a messy, messy season. Did you see that?
ew, what does that mean?
As I don't know, it was something like
I'll have to
that.
watch that. I don't know if I
It
want to
was it
watch
was
that.
like I'm gonna play it for you because it's so short. Wait, you look at their follower count and tell us. I'm
Yes,
gonna look at this.
I have it right here. Let me know when you're ready.
Okay, I'm ready.
So Maria has 610,000 followers, and Daisy has 836,000 followers, and
Daisy,
yeah,
186. 800?
136,000.
What?
Daisy has
How?
836,000
Oh,
followers.
I kept hearing 136. I was like, I don't think
Maybe I
that's
said it weird. I don't know.
maybe
836,000. Joey has 805,000. So yeah, Daisy does have more.
wow.
I wonder how many Kelsey has. Let's
She
find
doesn't
out.
have as many. I looked. I don't remember what it was though.
Joey didn't even tag. Oh, it's collab posters. 635,000.
She grew a ton. What she had, I do not think she had that many. And then she won.
Daisy
I
had
don't want to say.
700 and something followers when I followed her like a week ago. So she's gained 150,000 followers in a week.
Wow. I mean, that's a lot of followers in that span.
I mean, how long have we been doing Instagram and how many?
Yeah. Can we go on The Bachelor?
I will definitely watch you and support you all the way.
I mean, I'm joking. We're both in very serious relationships, but I
Bye,
mean,
Evan. Bailey's gone.
bye. We're
Wait,
just gonna
have Evan be
go.
the Bachelor.
How many people do that though? How many people go on the show to become Instagram famous? I feel like so many, and it's so bad.
Okay.
It's so bad.
You
I was
don't watch
totally.
Love Is Blind. This is
Do
wild.
people do that too? Wait, I
This
need to show you.
guy. Oh
Good
yeah.
morning, America. I'm Jen. I'm your next Bachelorette, and I'm looking for someone who can banter with me, who can laugh with me. So you guys better buckle up for this messy, messy adventure.
Is that not so cringe? Okay.
What?
Yeah. I saw that and I was like, whoa, that was not the vibe I was going for. Daisy
She's
looked so good when she came
overcompensating.
out.
She's overcompensating.
Yeah.
She's got to like act that way because she knows
She
the hardcore fan base that was rooting for Daisy.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Okay, wait, what
Wonder
were you
if she
saying about Love
regrets
is
it now.
Blind?
Okay, so Love is Blind. So there was a reunion episode, and apparently one of the guys was going to propose to one of the girls, but she ended up choosing someone else. So he left. Comes out later on that, well, as he's walking into the show, he had a girlfriend that said, "I love you. If I don't make it through, then we'll get back together." Like, and then she even responded back, "Sounds good. Love you too." Like, was totally content with it. Like, whatever. So then during the process, he like falls in love with her and then was ready to propose, ends up not getting engaged. So he leaves the show and gets back together with that girl. And apparently everyone's like, you dodged a bullet for not getting engaged to him, but it was like totally suspicious, like totally weird.
Oh,
And
like
he
he
got
went on
called.
to get famous.
Yeah, well, he got caught too. And so in the reunion, people were calling him out and talking about it, like, why would you do that? That's not what this show's about. And he's like, I know I messed up. And he's like, can I go? Can I just leave? Because I know I messed up and I can't defend myself right now.
I mean,
and
if you actually go on that show for that reason, you're not going to grow, because I feel like really why Daisy got such a following wasn't because she was, I mean, yes, it was because she was on the show, but because of the person she was, and she was down to earth and everyone loved how she handled things and that stuff.
Totally.
Like you can, I mean, like, yeah, we can joke about going on the show, but like just because you go on the show doesn't mean you're going to get followers. Like multiple of these girls
No.
don't have followers, and to go on a
No.
show like that for that reason is so bad. It's so bad.
So
Like literally.
and those girls never make it. You can tell because they're
No.
fire starters and they just pour fire or pour gasoline
They
on
want
the fire,
TV time.
and they want the drama. They want to be the villain or whatever. And I think honestly, I think Maria was painted in that light a little bit, but I don't think she was there for the reason of getting famous.
No, she actually, I feel like I went so back and forth where I was like, I like her, I don't.
At first I did not like
I
her,
don't.
but then I liked her, and then I was like, about her. She's kind of out there for me. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't think her and Joey had the same chemistry that the other girls did, but I wasn't bothered by her like I was in the beginning.
No, and then at the Woman's Tell All, I felt like handled herself actually pretty well. Like she even like
see, I didn't watch
got
that
up
because
and
I was like,
oh,
I'm
okay,
bored.
yeah. Well, yeah, it was kind of boring, but she like even got up and like hugged one of the girls when like after they like she did try. I was like, wow, you were doing pretty well for yourself right now, because if people were
Hey, if you
attacking
can
me,
handle your own, then great, go for it. I think
yeah,
good for you. I mean, you have to be able to on these shows, or else you'll just get destroyed and eaten alive.
yeah. I don't think I could do it. I'm way too sensitive, and I would nope. There's no way.
I'd cry.
And then yeah, I'd cry, and then like also like I was so impressed with how Daisy did. We were literally talking about this too right before we got on our podcast, but how she handled it was so impressive, and I thought it was so great. But how hard does it have to be? Like you are in love with this person, and you think, wow, they're gonna pick me until the very end, and then all of a sudden you have to process those feelings, and then also be a girl's girl because that is your friend.
Yeah,
That sounds like so much to process.
brutal. Yeah, I think that just comes with maturity, because honestly, to have that kind of intense emotions and to not let your emotions control you. So many people nowadays don't have their emotions under control. They let them get the better of themselves, or whatever the word is for that. But they just don't have control over their own emotions and reactions, and they just let them take them over. And I think she just was 100% in control. She was in the driver's seat, I think, the entire time of that relationship.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think that is great for that kind of a scenario of how you're going to do a relationship on The Bachelor. I think you have to be.
For sure.
You don't want The Bachelor having control over that, because then you're going to get sent home. But if you keep them on their toes, it's like your mom always says, keep them on their toes. And I'm like,
always.
I love that.
You always keep them on their toes, even when you're married, even when anything.
Even when
you're
married.
A guy on their toes.
I love that. It's great advice. It really is, because, and they kind of like it. As weird
they
as that
like
sounds,
it. They will say they don't.
It.
They will say they don't like it, but come on, like we
I
all
got
know they
this
like
under control, or they'll act like they like know what you're talking about. Or I do all along. And it's like, no, you did not. No, you did not.
Yeah.
But we want them to think that.
Yeah.
It's fun. It keeps things spicy.
You got to keep things spicy. Always. It's like you're always supposed to date. Like at any part of your relationship, you're always supposed to date. Go on dates. Do those things.
Maybe not
it's
36
so easy
women at a time, but
maybe no, like not on dates with other people, with your person. Like,
I saw a reel the other day that was like, nothing is worse than a girlfriend who doesn't respect your wife. It's like, that's horrible. It's like, that's bad, but okay, that's really funny. Unless it's a real life experience, and I'm so sorry.
Yeah, no. I meant like go on a date with your person to go out to dinner and not get in the mundane of like staying at home always.
Yeah, not falling into a rhythm and like keeping things spicy. I like that word lately, spicy. It's the only thing I really can like describe things lately is spicy.
I like that word. I mean, you do want to keep it spicy in a relationship. It's just like
you can
how it is.
Spice here, spice there, a little sugar and spice. Well, it's super fun. I'm curious to see how this next season's gonna go with Jen. I don't know if I'm gonna watch it. I say that, but I probably will.
We'll see.
I don't know. I probably won't. Maybe we'll do Rose Lake for it. I don't know.
Maybe that'll make it fun. This season was
guys,
just
so
good.
Keep it interesting.
Yeah, no, that's true. Maybe it will be. Yeah, we'll have to. Let's see. Maybe we'll get into it. I feel like this season was just so good, and we had to sit down and talk about this because I feel like we had so much to chat about, anyways. And there's been so many different things online everywhere. I feel like I'm watching new stuff every day, so seriously. I'm definitely kind of excited for this next season. But we'll see if we get into it.